What I'm about to tell you is one of the last memories I have that still feels sharp when I touch it, like a broken bottle buried just under the skin. I've forgotten a lot from middle school, names of teachers, homework assignments, entire semesters that blurred together, but this memory never softened. It stayed exactly the way it was when it happened, jagged and unfinished. I was 13 when it started, and I didn't know yet that fear could age you faster than time. Back then, I didn't have many friends. The few I did have were the kind of kids teachers kept half an eye on, not because we were troublemakers, but because we were off, quiet in the wrong moments, too intense about the wrong things. We didn't fit neatly anywhere. There was Ryan, who never took his jacket off even in August. Eli, who collected dead bugs in matchboxes and swore he could tell which ones had died naturally. Then there was Trevor. Trevor had been my best friend since 5th grade. We met because we were the only two kids who didn't go outside during recess. He was smart, painfully so, but it came with a heaviness, like his thoughts weighed more than they should. He watched people, instead of talking to them. When he laughed, it always sounded like he was checking to see if it was appropriate first. Looking back, the warning signs were everywhere. At the time, I just thought that was what friendship looked like. The summer before 8th grade, Trevor invited the three of us to stay with his family for a week. They had a house up north, somewhere along the coast. He never said exactly where, just that it was quiet and isolated and better than being home. That should have been my first red flag. The drive took hours. Trevor's dad barely spoke, except to tell us not to eat in the car and to crack the windows when Ryan started coughing. He kept sanitizer in the cup holder and wiped the steering wheel every time we stopped. His mom wasn't with us. Trevor said she didn't like the house anymore. We had to take a ferry for the last leg of the trip. I remember thinking it felt like crossing into somewhere you weren't supposed to go. Watching the mainland pull away until it looked unreal, like a cardboard cutout being slid out of frame. The island was small. One main road. Dense trees pressed close on both sides like they were listening. The house itself was older than it looked. All gray wood and narrow windows. Inside, the air felt muted, like sound didn't travel properly, like the house swallowed things. I remember standing in the doorway of the room we were sharing, a long narrow space with 2 bunk beds, and feeling strangely detached, as if my body had arrived before the rest of me caught up. That first night, I lost my watch. It wasn't expensive, just a digital thing my dad had given me the year before. I took it off before bed, set it on the dresser, and when I woke up it was gone. I tore the room apart. Trevor helped me look, calm and methodical, suggesting places I'd already checked. "You probably left it downstairs," he said, "or outside." I hadn't. I knew I hadn't. But his dad snapped at me for making noise, and I didn't want to be the problem kid on day one. I let it go. The next day it was my notebook. The one I used for drawing. I carried it everywhere. Eli swore he'd seen me biking with it tucked under my arm. Ryan said maybe the wind knocked it out of my bag. I stopped talking after that. By the 3rd night, I convinced myself it was all coincidence, that I was being dramatic. 13-year-olds are good at that, at gaslighting themselves before anyone else has to. That night, I woke up at 2:47 a.m. I know the exact time because Trevor had a digital alarm clock on his desk, the numbers glowing faint red in the dark. At first, I thought something had woken me up. A sound, a shift in the room. Then I heard it, whispering. It was so quiet, I thought it might be my own breathing at first. I lay perfectly still, heart thudding, trying to separate the noise from my imagination. The whispering continued, soft and urgent, like someone talking to themselves in a dream. It was coming from Trevor's bunk. I couldn't make out words, just the rhythm of speech, pauses, a faint wet sound like someone licking their lips. I wanted to say his name. I wanted to laugh it off, to break the moment. I didn't. Something in me knew that if I acknowledged it, whatever was happening would solidify into something real. Eventually, the whispering stopped. I don't remember falling asleep again. I just remember morning arriving like an intrusion. The next day, we were playing outside when Eli went back into the house to use the bathroom. He was gone longer than usual, long enough that Ryan started joking about him falling in. I glanced up at the house. Trevor was standing in the 2nd floor window, staring straight at us. Not waving, not smiling, just watching. I remember feeling confused first, then cold. The 2nd floor didn't have a bathroom. I'd noticed that on the first day. When I blinked, he was gone. That night, I told Trevor's dad I wasn't feeling well. He barely looked at me when he said I could stay behind while they went into town for dinner. The house felt even quieter without them, the walls ticking softly like they were counting something. I don't know why I did it. I just know that once the idea entered my head I couldn't ignore it. I went to Trevor's bag. It was tucked neatly under his bunk. Inside, folded carefully, was my watch. Under that, my notebook. Then things I hadn't even realized were missing. A toothbrush, a sock, a photo of my family I kept in my wallet. My stomach dropped through the floor. At the bottom of the bag was a binder. I opened it. The pages were filled edge to edge with drawings, violent, frantic sketches pressed so hard into the paper that some of them tore through, figures without faces, bodies broken at impossible angles, houses surrounded by trees with eyes carved into the trunks. Then I saw myself, over and over again. In some drawings I was sleeping, in others, running. In one, I was nailed to something that looked like a cross made of driftwood, my limbs erased, my mouth open in a silent scream. The last page had my name written again and again, overlapping until it was unreadable. Underneath it, 4 words. I won't forget you. I heard the front door open. I don't remember putting everything back. I don't remember how my legs carried me downstairs. I remember Trevor's dad going pale when I showed him the binder. I remember him telling me quietly that I'd misunderstood, that Trevor was creative, that families handled things internally. We left that night. I never saw Trevor again. His family moved. He vanished from school records. People stopped asking questions. Years passed. I grew up. I moved out. I learned how to live with locked doors and the sense that I was being observed just a little too closely. Last week, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was my watch, still ticking, and a note. I kept everything safe. I'm writing this now because last night, at exactly 2:47 a.m., my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. It was just 4 words. I'm close again. If anyone has advice, I'd appreciate it. Because I don't think this time, leaving will be enough.